Hey everybody, it's Complacent Badger with here, Kilo.
Greetings!
We are in week 9. No, 10. Is it 10?
I believe it's 10.
No, it's 9. It is 9.
9.
We're in week 9.
Well, that's good. I didn't get to play this week, so I've zero concept of anything that happened.
Yeah, we are completed with week 9 and we are in week 10 now, but nobody's played, so we're reviewing week 9 games.
So this is one that we talked about a little extensively during our wrap-up last week.
Yep.
And I think that I said that Exactly's plan was going to win 2-0 or 2-1.
It was something like that. I think we both...
You were the other way. You were Smashas 2-0 or 2-1.
I think we both said 2-1, and in opposite directions.
But for opposite directions. So I'm backing Exactly's plan for this, and you're backing the Smashas for this.
Yep.
So let's see how it turns out.
Yeah, Masrak, I tried to, I mean, as mean as it sounds, I tried to ignore quite a bit of what he was telling me about the game just because I like going into the recap pretty, without any extra shit from the outside.
Yeah.
So when he was talking about it, I just kind of was just like, yeah, because I like to watch these.
No, I'm with you. That's an interesting formation over there. Yeah, it's kind of like I'm watching Game of Thrones, but at the same time, I'm still like listening to the audiobook. So I just finished the second book, and I'm kind of like a quarter of the way through the first one. So it's too new for me to watch all of the second season, because it's like reading the book and then immediately watching it on TV is like that you already know what's happening. So it's not nearly as enjoyable. Sure hands for the win.
Yeah, so definitely an interesting formation, as you mentioned. I can't really see anything immediately wrong with it, other than the fact that he's on defense and leaving his wide zones open.
Right, but he's got enough support on the sides where I think that he can pull and run down. He's set up back far enough where it's not going to... The movement allowance of the opponent isn't really going to be a factor over there. He could close that if he needed to. Mm-hmm. But that's something that, we've talked about with my Frenzy, where I'll leave the wide zones open just to see if somebody will sit on them.
Yeah, for me, especially with how far he's set up back, that's just giving your opponent free yardage. I mean, granted, the kick went a place where he couldn't get moving forward, but, most likely the Orcs are going to get an extra space or two of presence that they didn't necessarily have to have.
Right.
However, it looks like Masrak is not taking advantage of that and pushing up. He's creating just a wide cage around his ball carrier.
Which definitely isn't a bad way to go. I mean, we've seen that be something that he's had trouble with before. Is he's pressing a little too much, engaging too much, hitting too much when it's not really necessary. Mm-hmm. And I like seeing that he's thinking about ball movement and ball positioning.
All right, so trying to blitz away from that Black Orc, I don't know if he's just trying to protect him. Made him lose a lot right there. I think he only did 2 actions that turn before dropping.
Right.
I don't know if that was the best move. If you're wanting to dodge that guy away, maybe make that one of the later blitzes. Or rather, actions, if you're going to blitz and dodge.
Right, but I think that, I don't know where he was blitzing, so that blitz might have been into...
I don't really think so, because it was against this Black Orc that's laying down, and these 2 Black Orcs were the only ones adjacent.
And dodged away.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't...
that was probably a pretty critical issue. I would have probably just left the blitzer there and then just tried to get assists to knock guys away instead of trying to dodge away. But, things happen.
Right. Well, that dodge is just, that's a tough dodge, but it's a good...
it was a 3+ with a reroll. I mean, I don't know if he actually utilized the reroll, so...
He didn't.
All right, so he decided that it was okay, but I guess his field presence was still pretty strong. A knockout right off there from a lineman, that's pretty tough. Dual 6s on the armor pen.
Done and done.
So Masrak has a pretty decent pocket right now. Gonna see if exactly as planned, can start opening that up. Chaos Warrior getting there adjacent to the thrower.
Building some backfield presence, nice.
Yeah, it's good making sure to keep those safeties back there in case something goes awry.
Right, and doing it very early in the turn, so that, I mean that's free movement, and that's what we keep talking about is anything that is zero risk, do first, and then base kind of the rest of your turn off of that, you know.
Yep. So getting everybody stood back up, no rules being thrown, just trying to get everybody in good position. And now he's looking for an avenue of blitz. Just trying to get those Chaos Warriors dislodged. Getting the extra assist.
Tough.
Defender down, puts him down, and pushes the other one away with a good angle on the blitz.
That was outstanding. I mean, that's second level Blood Bowling right there.
Yep.
He was only able to hit one guy, but he made sure that one guy freed up those 2 tackle zones that he was on.
Yep. So a badly hurt from the blitzer. That stun from the Chaos Warrior came from Mighty Blow helping out with that armor pen. Wouldn't have gotten the pen without it. And then afterwards, the Beastman got injured through just a good roll.
Yep.
Leaving that pocket open for straight on blitz. However, single die does get defender stumbles into a badly hurt.
That's going to be a game changer, I think.
Yeah, I guess worth the risk. You did it. You had a reroll available. The thrower didn't have any defensive abilities such as block or dodge, so odds were pretty good in your favor. And this character doesn't have block either, so a little bit riskier, but it worked. So.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of rerolls that he has, I mean, it's still turn 3, so you don't want to burn through him too fast. But being able to get a hit on a ball carrier is outstanding.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we got 3 Orc players on the ball and 1 Chaos player. I'm pretty confident that the Orcs are going to get the possession back pretty quickly.
Right.
Opting to do a little bit of hitting, get everybody back a little bit before messing with the ball. Pretty good idea for an Orc player.
Yep.
Picks it up. I think that's his blitzer with sure hands. Nope, it's a level 1 blitzer. Very nice. Gets it on gets the pickup on a 6. That guy wanted the ball. Very odd formation right here. Probably.
Yeah, when you make that line like that,
it's a misuse. It's a misuse of power.
Yeah, one hit, and then you have a character next to the ball carrier. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
He could have set guys back in case something happens to the ball, start setting guys downfield just in case he needs to pass, because it's going to be hard getting through this line, so he needs to get set up for a potential of a touchdown if he has no chance at it.
Right, and that's, you know, we talk about that all the time, is using, creating avenues of egress for your ball carrier while spreading out your tackle zones.
And you see right there, that was he immediately lost his turn because of a 1-die tackle that rerolled into a fail. That's why I say don't do 1-die blocks. So it worked for him against the ball carrier. Didn't really get him better field position. You know, stopped him maybe. Yeah. Stopped the.
Really, all that it did, I mean, it burned a turn.
Yep, and then he does the exact same move against a non-critical player and loses not only a reroll but an entire turn. Puts him on the back foot, and this looks like it's going to be an inevitable touchdown. He's only got 2 standing players. Sorry, 3. Nope, it is 2. Orcs and Chaos look a little similar.
That's true.
So that was pretty bad. That was a really critical mistake.
And that's the second significantly shortened turn for him.
Yep, losing those turns.
2 out of 5. So we said out of 5 turns, 3 of them have been full turns and 2 of them have been truncated.
Yep. Whereas the Orcs have gotten all 5 of their turns. And not doing anything risky, just playing smart Blood Bowl.
And those are some of, you know, your best successes as well as mine is making better decisions and not, I mean, the games that I win are games that I usually end up winning with a lot of rerolls left. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I did well, it was because I didn't make poor choices.
Oh, that going for it.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was trying to gain there. I mean, I guess field presence, but
Yeah, well, I guess if he he hadn't moved the ball carrier yet, right? So he was probably creating a cage up there.
Well, no, that was actually Chaos, exactly his plan.
Oh, that's right.
That did the going for it. He could have only gone. I don't know if being 1 or 2 more spaces would have made the difference. So, you know, I don't think he had many moves left anyways, so it really was a kind of a moot point. But I think the only player that can touch this guy is the Beastman. Oh, there's a Beastman over here as well, so he's got a chance. Being with the horns, he's always got a relatively strong safety. Wrestle right there, too, in perfect proximity to actually utilize his ability.
Right. Get rid of that ball.
So this could work. Another knockout over here that's unsatisfactory, but, you know, these orcs are actually laying down some punishment right now.
Well, that's kind of what they're there for.
All right, so hitting it both down, it's going to be a wrestle if he goes for it. Yep. So ball's dislodged. If you can move this Beastman to just at least mark the ball. Stand up this guy first. All right, and uses the reroll and goes for the pickup, which, man.
It bounced to an okay place, but no, yeah.
I don't know if I would have gone for the pickup. I guess this guy was stunned as well, so he couldn't have stood up.
Yeah.
So it goes for the going for it and the touchdown. It's kind of a wash on whether or not you should pick up the ball in a situation like that. I think without any abilities, you should just mark the ball and keep it in a relatively safer place. He's going to probably blitz you and put you down anyways, but kind of bouncing it into...
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that particular case, it was pretty hopeless. So he had a guy that was standing up, a guy that was really close, plus the blitzer in there, that there really wasn't a chance of stopping the touchdown. The best thing that he could have done
just got the
was
ball out of there.
Ball and make somebody hit the ball out of his hands.
Or at least just toss it out of there.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Is you could always grab that ball and just Hail Mary it to the other side of the field, but
he also didn't have any rerolls available from doing a one-die block, a couple other reroll attempts in other areas, so that could be a contributing factor to not being able to get that touchdown away.
Yep.
I just think that was...
Massachusetts playing very well today.
Yeah, I think this was that first drive was definitely just a difference in playing a little bit of Maserac. Probably I'd give like 51 versus 49%. Just playing smart Blood Bowl. Just not doing anything too risky if he didn't have to.
And I've seen him, you know, on the Steam chat being he's been playing it a lot lately too. So
yeah. The only caveat that I say is that those armor pens were a little over odds, right. I would say. So
I agree with that.
A couple guys down definitely puts you at a disadvantage against Orcs. But that's Blood Bowl. Claw just not getting in there. Rolling a 1
I think that if you expect to have 11 players after your second turn in Blood Bowl, you're wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, and that's also the risk you run with, what has he got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 players plus 3, so he's got 1 extra player.
You're right.
If you've only got 12 players, that's the risk you run.
But that's more players out in you know what, pretty for the first 4 or 5 turns he lost 3 players, so that's...
Yeah, but I think there's only 1 Chaos Warrior there, so our 2 armor value 8 guys didn't get his knockout back, so that's pretty rough, but you know, it's only a 2 difference because, you know, that badly hurt thrower on a 1-die block.
Right.
So I mean, a two-player difference for, and you know, you could just chalk it up to just bad knockout rolls. You know, one or two dice that just don't go your way could really change the flow of a game.
That's true.
No rerolls left.
Down on a block plus halftime. Yep.
Yep. That just happens. Block's powerful. No rerolls. It happens. Putting a guy down. Got both of his knockouts
he's
back.
Just punching for the end. All right, 2 stand-ups.
So now we should be even on players. Looking at 11 players for the Snarltoof Smashas. And
I don't even bother count. It'll come up in the
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
just wait
and
for
11,
it.
so it's
11 players.
It's even.
Yeah. Good. So now we have the switch. So just a nice slow march runs you a tie. That took a lot more time than normal. That was a pretty good.
Orcs versus Chaos. I mean, that's like two really immovable walls hitting each other.
Right.
So getting those early hits, ball's in a good position where I'd say that these early hits are pretty good time for it.
Right. I mean, how much further are you going to go? The ball's controlled. It's on the ground. It's surrounded by your players.
Yep. It's in a pretty choice situation. Just get your hits in while you can. Pick up fail. Use the reroll right off the bat to pick it up. It happens. Did he have anybody with any abilities nearby?
I would have brought the two safeties up, the intended receivers.
Oh yeah, he might just be pulling them as safeties right now.
Yeah, I would have moved him up a little bit, and then before the pickup, but that's about it. I
mean, Mighty Blow getting that pen against the Black Orc to get the stun on. Claw helping out too. He wouldn't have been able to get it without Claw.
Right. I hate that's been nice. I mean, there've been the skills that he's picked up have been helping.
Odd choice of actually keeping your guy in the side over here instead of coming over here where the opponent didn't have a lot of people to bring to bear. A lot of guys were down, nobody would have been able to make a rebuttal, and you'd have 2 wide zones to head down. Staying behind those Chaos Warriors strength 4, he instead elected to stay behind 2 Beastmen, which one of them got knocked out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a choice field position.
Let's see what he does with the movement allowance that he's got, because he's going to have to either tackle somebody. I don't know if he's got the movement allowance to get that.
Ooh. Okay, wow. So badly hurt on a Black Orc. That's pretty rough. I love this Blitzer's position right here. He's putting out his tackle zones to make it to where this guy's not going to be able to flush right. These guys are pressuring left. The only place he can go is up the middle where the Black Orcs are holding it. So right here, he's got a lot of pressure going on, but he's okay. I guess it's nice to get the ball out. But with this lineman right here, and you're not doing anything, like you've already moved this guy, I don't know how much you were going to be able to gain from that. Man, I do not think that was a good move. I think he was trying to go for the win and just get a score as fast as he can so that he can get the ball back.
Yeah, I mean,
but at this point, with the way that these teams are and how it's been going, having so few rerolls, I don't think I would have gone for that pass. Especially if it wasn't going to be a touchdown that turn.
Well, yeah, even if the guy had the ball, he would have lost it on the next turn. Just didn't have the movement allowance.
Mm-hmm. And didn't do a lot of your moves beforehand to kind of make that a useful strategy.
Right. I mean, just put bodies up there to get tackle zones in between your opponent and the ball. It would. I mean, he had the opportunity to pick it up next turn and run it in. I think that would have been good, but he didn't set it up on the backside enough. Like that was if there were other things that needed to happen for that strategy to be top.
Yep. Another stun. This Beastman, Troil Muzzle with Claw and Mighty Blow is actually doing a lot of work. Arguably Chaos is getting more pins than the Orcs. The Orcs are just getting a little bit more damaging effects. So
Yeah,
a
the
reroll on a
casual-
1-die tackle again. So that's his
Yep.
last reroll. That's at least 3 1-die blocks that we've seen this game from exactly his plan, and it shows. I mean, look at his
Right.
rerolls.
And that's, I mean, that's what it is. It shows on the rerolls and it shows on the score.
How many has Masrak done?
Yep.
I mean, it's just a different in philosophy. Masrak's in the philosophy that needless risk is needless. What was he going to gain by putting this guy down with the potential of losing it? I mean, he had Mighty Blow, yeah, but all these guys just run over here anyways.
Right.
So using a reroll on a dodge. He's got rerolls to spare. I don't know. Might have stayed marking that Chaos Warrior, but if you're trying to mitigate damage, I guess it's worthwhile. Alright, so moving guys for assist, then check and blitz. Moving guys, check and blitz. So utilizing what appears to be 6 players against 1 Black Orc when you do not have the ball. I guess they're not in the worst position they could possibly be in, but I would be, if you're, okay, that's probably why you did it, for the foul, to knock him out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you've just given up the entirety of your opponent's half to bring that ball back.
Yeah.
Instead of applying pressure and slowing down that ball movement and keeping it to where the ball is in a relatively nice place for you to score.
Ooh, badly hurt again. Mighty Blow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mighty Blow is a sick ability. Was able to put a guy down. Now we're looking at 2 injuries and a knockout, 2 injuries and a knockout right now. Pretty damn even.
Yeah. I mean, we knew these two teams were going to be just like this.
All right, so that was probably a really bad move. Black Orc, 1-die tackle of both down without block, so he has to use a reroll. Like, that Beastman wasn't going to go anywhere. He would have to dodge weight. He doesn't have any rerolls. What are you doing, man? Alright, so push. Surprised that Masrak actually didn't take advantage and move his guy down much farther. Get that set up much deeper into his own zone.
Well, he doesn't really know what deep feels like.
That's true. Didn't really take advantage of that mistake. I mean, a knockout guy is pretty useful, but with the potential of a foul also losing one of your players, it's almost a wash.
Right.
So another
so
knockout.
Was a lateral move.
Yep. So he gained, I think, 1 yard.
Space.
Yeah, 1 space for that one. He may just be trying to move it slow. Ooh, another injury. May just trying to move it 2 6s on that pen again. That's like the 2nd or 3rd time that Masrak's done that. Really just wanting to punish that Black Orc. I don't really know why he's investing that blitz into that Black Orc over and over again. He should be trying to penetrate this.
Right. Well, especially because there's, I mean, the best opportunity is to try to get that Black Orc off the field, and it's just not possible the way the angles that he's blitzing.
Yep.
And he lost 3 guys to tackle zones, and he still can't be pushed out. Sucking up tackle zones.
So now we're looking at he's got 3 guys on 1 guy, and 3 guys against what appears to be 8.
You're right.
Like, just leave the Black Orc alone, man. Get some defense. Alright, block putting another guy down. Mighty Blow working hard. That would have been a stun had it not been... No, it would have still been a KO, I think. Yep. Because KO was at 8. So, wrestle...
So essentially, we got another both down.
Yep.
With no rerolls. Had he not had wrestle, that would have been the end of the turn.
Yep. But why he hit that instead of hitting with the Chaos Warrior to potentially knock him off the pitch with any push, I don't know. Because at that angle, that would have been off the pitch, whereas with the Beastman, it's not.
Right.
That's just either A, through frustration, not looking at the angles, or just not seeing them to begin with. So now he finally decides that it's time to give up, as Masrak's kind of been playing up in the backfield for 3 or 4 turns. Gets that safety down there. This is, you know, with what he's got, this is a much better position.
Right. Dude's off the ball carrier. What's he going to use? Is he going to move with the blitz? Better. Oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So getting a little cheeky. I mean,
did he check the movement allowances? He's got to get somebody to protect that.
He's probably going to get...
going against the side, let's see, that's better.
Yeah,
but
he marks
against
him.
the sideline doesn't do any good.
Nope, that means it's just really easy for you to lose the ball.
Okay, that...
Actually, it would take 2 going for it to actually hit this guy, and he fails the first one.
That sucks! Yeah.
Rerolls the gouge eye to apply a... I didn't catch it. But, yep. So that sideline, it was a little risky because if you made the 2 going for it, you were more than likely going to be out. However, at the angle that you saw that exactly his plan was going, it was not going to push him out.
Right.
That was a bad angle. So that just shows you, one, exactly his plan, not using proper blood bowl on
that
the
sideline to the advantage, especially with that, with having guys with frenzy. You need to be looking at that.
Yeah.
Every time.
Well, he doesn't have anybody with frenzy, but I understand what you're saying.
Well, yeah. But, you know, I mean, you have to be looking at that because you're playing a guy with frenzy.
Exactly.
You have to be able to see those angles. So.
And that was at least 2 situations where he was not using proper angles in the sidelines to start evening the odds of the number of players on the pitch.
Right.
So that could be attributed there. There was a significant amount of... a little bit, I would say, I mean, at least 4 or 5 more against exactly his plan, which sucks, and that happens, but if he was, instead of putting 7 guys on one guy just to foul him to get him off the pitch and potentially lose your own guy, if he just had better field position, was mitigating the hits against him.
Yeah, I think that, you know, he did a really high-risk kind of play and didn't get the 1 touchdown, so... Now it's a 2-0 loss instead of a 1-1 tie.
Yep. If he would have just kept trucking and just been like, okay, I'm okay with a tie in this game, he could have just pushed it down the pitch, and I think that he would have fared a lot better. Wouldn't have been receiving so many hits, and potentially would have reduced the amount of knockouts and injuries that he had.
Well, let's throw it this way. Masrak played a super game of Blood Bowl. Hustle won. Good game, but we you know, took note of a couple what we would consider mistakes or you know, stuff that we would have done differently. But you know, with Blood Bowl, it doesn't, you know, you wake up, go to the Blood Bowl pitch and die just because. So
yep. For me, I think the Smashas played a very cautious game of Blood Bowl, which we almost chastised them in the past for being too cautious in some situations, but the Smashas basically just had the leg up for a lot of the game. I don't think he forced a single turnover the entire game.
Yeah, and it was just 70% ball possession. That really makes the difference.
Yeah, but if you look at it, 51% in his own half. I mean, he wasn't really moving the ball. With 4 rerolls, I don't think the Smashas ever lost possession of the ball, or rather, of the turn. They never just lost it.
They did 1 time, I think, but it was late, and he just chose not to use a reroll.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's that risk versus reward. I think exactly his plan. He played well, but I think he took more risks that could have gotten him in good situations.
Yeah.
But with the low amount of rerolls, the lack of skills in the situation to make it a more risky situation, it just happened not to fall his way, and that caused him to lose the game. But,
you know, still a good game to watch. Two of those kind of big bashy teams, and we didn't see, you know, as many both downs as we normally see in games like this, and I think that's attributed to people understanding the odds a little better, realizing that tackle zones and dodge rolls are really, really useful tools against an opponent, and plus just different skill points. So
a huge point to say right here is that 7 KOs caused 1 KO caused.
Right.
That's probably a good 30 or 40% of how it fell as well, is just those KOs.
Yep.
But exactly as planned, generally has a lower armor value throughout his team, so that's something you have to expect when you're going against a higher armor value team.
Yeah, just going toe to toe isn't often the way to win. But
well, good.
Right.
Good game, fun to watch, and guess we'll see you guys next time.
Later.